Have you ever found yourself paralyzed by the fear of failure, watching opportunities slip through your fingers? For example, being so worried about being good at your job that it makes you rigid, or being so nervous to talk to someone that you continue shying away. The tragedy is that our intentions are in the right place, but we once again find ourselves in our own way, stuck in our fears, caught in a life of what if. So what can be done to turn this around? How can we think about our fears differently, to free ourselves from the shackles of the unknown, and move into a more expansive world full of courage, bravery, and potential instead? That's today on Understanding Our Fear-Based Beliefs, from the second stage of LifeDeck, Beliefs. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to help spread the love, as we'll now go ahead and begin this learning meditation with a single deep breath in through the nose, holding at the top, and releasing, feeling your mind relaxing. Fourth century Greek philosopher Aristotle believed, "He who has overcome his fears will truly be free." 1500 years later, in 1937, Napoleon Hill, renowned for his insights on success, evolved similar sentiments, saying, "Fears are nothing more than a state of mind." Both men, centuries apart, underscore the power of our fears in creating self-imposed limitations on ourselves and our lives. Hill went on to identify 6 fundamental fears that underlie most human anxieties, each serving as the breeding ground for limiting beliefs that can massively hinder our growth and potential. First is the fear of poverty. This fear often translates into a limiting belief of scarcity, a mindset that there will never be enough resources or opportunities to thrive. Second, the fear of criticism. This underlying fear gives rise to limiting beliefs centered around the compulsive need for approval. Number 3 is the fear of ill health, which manifests as limiting beliefs about physical safety and a belief that one's well-being is precarious and fragile. Fourth is the fear of loss of love, which can contribute to limiting beliefs related to the constant need for validation and a fear of rejection. Fifth is the fear of old age, causing limiting beliefs about the inevitability of decline and a reluctance to embrace change as one ages. And lastly, the fear of death, the ultimate underlying fear of everything. Here, accepting that we are on this planet for only a short, unpredictable amount of time can either impel you forward or cause you to shrivel. As Greek Stoic philosopher Seneca believed, "He who fears death will never do anything worth of a man who is alive." Compounding the problem with these root fears and their subsequent limiting beliefs is our unbelievable power of imagination. In the 1920s, the Lebanese-American writer and poet Khalil Gibran once said, "Our anxiety does not come from thinking about the future, but from wanting to control it." Our ability to try and peer into the future and predict what's going to happen is both a blessing and a curse. Misguided by fearful, limiting beliefs, our imaginations can run amok and unknowingly set significant limitations on our action and therefore our potential. British neuroscientist Anil Seth, in his 2020 book, Being You, A New Science of Consciousness, recently contributed a new theory of consciousness as a prediction modeling mechanism. However, his work highlights that we're often making predictions based on very limited, even incorrect information. And importantly, on our limiting beliefs of ourselves and the world. Now, it's key to understand that our predictions of the future are heavily and unconsciously skewed by our past experiences. Which means when dealing with fear, we end up stuck in the present, trying to avoid things in the future that have already happened to us in the past. This means we're using our imaginative predictive modeling to dwell on negative, even horrible outcomes far too often, completely scaring ourselves into inaction. As Robert Greene says in his book The Laws of Human Nature, we sabotage our career and relationships by unconsciously creating the circumstances we fear the most. This is why fear-based beliefs are also the root cause of the symptomatic behaviors of perfectionism, procrastination, and sabotage. It's often only in retrospect that we recognize our negative patterns of behavior as being cemented by fear, anchored by old, unhelpful, unfair, unrealistic, limiting, fear-based beliefs. So what can be done to address these life-inhibiting beliefs? And how can we train our human superpower of imagination to help us, not hinder us? Here are 4 ways we can begin to work with our fears, not against them, and introduce a new set of awesome expansive beliefs instead. First is to get out in front of these fears by recognizing when and what we're actually fearful of. A lot of the time, we're not even aware of why we're stuck. With closer inspection, we'll most of the time find that we were simply fearful of one of the 6 main fears. Other times, our fears are palpable and easy to identify, but perhaps not always at their root cause. Second is to get curious about these fears to tease out the limiting, often completely unreasonable or false beliefs behind them. Ask yourself questions like, why am I repeatedly not following through on something? And then continue the process of asking yourself why. This why exercise is very helpful in getting to the root of our blocks. Beyond this, there are many different practices, meditations, and methods of helping us see our fears for what they are, in order to fully accept them. Which leads us to number 3. Introducing the practice of letting go. Over time, with practice, we become better at being aware of our fears, seeing them for what they are, breathing, and allowing them to pass. This practice helps free our mind to new possibilities and potential, and leads us to number 4, using the power of our imagination. Here we exercise our discipline to visualize a more positive outcome. The profound benefit of visualization is well documented, but not easy, which is why it's crucial to practice. You might not feel very good at first, but soon you will condition this muscle with strength. Fifth, and most important, is to simply take action despite your fear. Or as Susan Jeffers put it in the title of her 1987 highly successful book, feel the fear and do it anyway. Interestingly, when we respond willingly to adventure, research indicates that our sense of fear doesn't go down, but rather our courage increases. It seems in this way, our perceived anxiety slowly becomes reinterpreted as a feeling of excitement. Simply by choosing to take action, not recklessly, but by voluntarily taking on stress, we have an empowered physiological and psychological reaction. Here we become a warrior, not a worrier, as Angela Seberano nicely put it. This is the muscle of bravery. And with consistent action over time, you too can strengthen and condition this belief in being brave. One day, to a place that might even astound you. As Viktor Frankl, the renowned existential psychologist, author, and Holocaust survivor, said, "When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves." With this transformation, we start seeing fear differently. Ultimately, not as something to hide from or to avoid, but as an opportunity. as a continual challenge to be mastered. Vincent van Gogh, famous Dutch painter, inspired the words, "If you hear a voice within you say, you cannot paint, then by all means paint, and that voice will be silenced." Remember, you don't have to have all the answers to take action. The fun lies in discovering them. So, fly in the face of your fears, and soon you'll be soaring. Let's now end with a deep breath in through the nose, holding at the top, and releasing, feeling a wave of self-assuredness wash over you. As always, thanks for supporting us. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to help spread the love. Let us know how we're doing in the comments below. Plus, check out this next video to continue your life learning. And until next time, keep building your destiny.